guys, and welcome back to some more Hypixel SkyBlock. If you could all just quickly go and hit the like button to shed a tear for my purse, I would really appreciate it, because each one of these videos somehow gets more and more and more expensive. I didn't think it could get worse than the daggers, but today we are finally making the creme de la creme of all of the Blaze items. The SOS flare, the main thing we've been working towards this entire time, I can finally make today, and it's in light of some recent information. If we head over to the Hypixel wiki, the page for Inferno minion fuel, they recently finished this, and it actually shows everything about the Inferno minions, so you can finally see the generation chances of everything, and you can understand and sympathize with my suffering. So a Vertex is a 1 in 18,000 chance, an Apex is a 1 in 7 million chance, a Reaper Pepper is 1 in 500,000, and I've gotten 3 of those, which is basically an Apex, so nice job, game. And Gabagool the Fish, 1 in 4 million. I'm probably going to get that before an Apex at this rate, but this little paragraph here is the most important thing. The legendary / hypergolic Inferno minion fuel can produce the following unique items. Each item is rolled for each item generated. So for example, if the minion generates 5 items, then each drop is rolled 5 times. That means the Netherwart version of this fuel grants the highest chance to roll the items, because it literally makes 4.2 times as many as the crude Gabagool distillate. So this entire time, I could have gotten 4 times as many Vertexes, and I could have had a 4 times chance of getting an Apex, and I'm in pain. So because of this information, Deathstreaks managed to get his hand on an Apex, but read this and is like, no, Apex is going to be like 4 times more common now. I need to get rid of it. I stepped up. I was like, yeah, man, I'll buy the Apex off of you. So here we go. Unfortunately, I didn't drop it. Really, did you all expect that I would actually drop this thing? It has such a sexy texture, but I'm actually about to ruin it for all of you real quick, because look at the back of this thing. Like, what is actually going on? This thing is so ugly from behind. The texture is an entire illusion. But finally, we have the Inferno Apex used to make the Wisp upgrade stone for the Sub-Zero pet, which needs 2 of them. The Inferno minion tier 11. And finally, the SOS flare, which is what we are making today, which should make Blaze Slayer so much easier, because I should be able to now do it without a Sorrow chestplate, which is gorgeous. But yeah, 125% base mana regen, same as a Plasma Flux, but for only 250 mana. 30% incoming healing. That is nuts. That will go so hard with Scylla and the One of Atonement. 25 true defense, 10 Frosty. Frosty's kind of useless on 5 attack speed. It's something, but it's a very nice item. Just a slightly better Plasma Flux, and yeah, we're going to be going through the painful process of finally crafting that today. I might have been stupid. Deathstreaks might have been onto something, because obviously, yes, Apex is going to be 4 times as common now, but I only know of like 3 or 4 Apexes that have ever dropped, and I've dropped 0. So 4 times 0 is still 0. I don't even care. I swapped over to the Netherwart distillate, and honestly, these guys have been generating Vertexes like crazy. I still had to buy a good chunk of these though, which is why my purse is in shambles. The Apex cost me 2.3 billion, and I bought about 15 of the Vertexes and had generated the rest myself. So without further ado, it's time to finally put this thing to use. Now, very few people actually know the story behind this. This is the main RNG drop from the Blaze Slayer, right? Completely worthless now, by the way, because obviously Apex is the main thing that's time gating everybody. But I actually bought what was supposed to be the first ever Wilson's engineering plans on the server. I'm gonna go over to the museum and see whether I got scammed or not. Bruh. Well, anyway, you'll just have to take my word for it. It cost me 1.5 billion coins, so this SOS flare in total is costing me around 6 billion smackaroos to make, and I haven't even bought the rest of the mats, so pray for me. Oh, it won't even be the #1 SOS flare. I am so sad. But obviously, we have to make the first tier, which is the warning flare, which is super cheap actually. So we need 16 molten powder, and we need 16 enchanted sulfur as well. There we go. We have our warning flare, 10% incoming healing and 10 true defense. I mean, it's kind of all right for how cheap it is actually. Now we can go ahead and upgrade it into the next tier, the alert flare, which is actually so much more expensive because Vertexes start getting involved, and that is never fun. Trust me, I hate these things. And a stack of molten powder and 32 enchanted sulfur. And now we have the alert flare, 50% base mana regen, 20% incoming healing, 20 true defense, and 10 ferocity. Actually really decent, to be fair. Kind of not worth the price with how much 16 Vertexes would set you back. But finally, it is time to stop messing around and make the SOS flare. Inferno Apex 16 vertexes, 2 stacks of molten powder, 32 enchanted sulfur, and Wilson's engineering plans. What a brutal recipe this is. All right, so we'll put our alert flare in, Wilson's engineering plans, enchanted sulfur, vertexes, apex, and the molten powder. And there we go. The SOS flare at long last. Oh, it's so hot. The animation is just so sexy, dude. I really love the animation for this thing. It has a 40 block range and lasts for 3 minutes and can affect 8 players. Yeah, this thing's pretty bonkers, man. I need to go ahead and put the mana disintegrators on this straight away. There we go, ladies and gents. What's the mana cost now? 225 mana. That's actually kind of crazy. That is so cheap considering how OP this thing is. But it's time to retire the plasma flux. Don't think I'll really be seeing that thing again. And now it's time to go and put my flare in the museum because I want to see what number this is. I'm guessing number 3. Wait, it's not even museumable? Wow. I want to know what edition this is. I think it's the 3rd one. Maybe 2nd. I'm not 100% sure. But either way, it's mine and I'm a happy boy. Oh, there's one last thing we have to do, which is entirely pointless, but I can't have an epic item in my hotbar, bro. We got to go sort that out. We're about to go over and do some Blaze Slayer and find out if it was actually worth the 6 billers. If I still need a Sorrow chestplate to do it, then I have officially failed. But there's one little thing. There's one slight caveat, because obviously I need to get as much true defense as possible, and the mix-in for Blaze Slayer level 8 actually increases your total true defense by 5%. That is really nice, and I'm super close to Blaze Slayer level 8, so we should be able to hit that this stream. If I can't do my bosses without the Sorrow chestplate at first, we'll hit level 8 and then see if we can do it. But I'm praying, because I actually managed to get all my armor up to burning tier now. We went crazy and bought a ton of essence earlier on, and we're looking pretty juicy, I can't lie. So I'm hoping we can actually do this, you know. Wait, there's one thing we should do real quick, and that's splash one of these potions, because that will give us a nice extra 25 true defense and 10% incoming healing, actually. I wonder how that stacks with the 30% off of this. Oh man, Wand of Atonement's gonna be juicing. Boom. All right, let's go, boys. First time trying this without any Sorrow pieces with the SOS flare. Something is funky with my damage right now. I feel so weak. Ender Dragon. I have my Ender Dragon auto pet roll set up. No! I'm an idiot. Oh my god, he actually nearly got a fire pillar down. Oh, my health. You know what? That was a slight skill issue. Does the flare stack with plasma flux? No, you can only use one deployable at a time, which is kind of sad. But at the same time, like, imagine the 2 in conjunction. It would be busted, man. You'd have 250% mana regen, permanent base health regen, and the extra 30% stacked on top of it from the SOS flare. That's just mad. Also, that red boy spawned my boss, so I'm now... Oh, man, I'm molding. Just to put all of your minds at ease as well, because I know you'll be asking, place down plasma flux. Place down SOS flare. It just removes the plasma flux. You cannot have both active at the same time. And if somebody else places a plasma flux near you, your SOS flare will be the only thing that affects you. And I'm pretty sure the plasma flux will only affect them. Obviously, you can leech the SOS flare if you don't place your own orb down. But I think your own orbs get priority if you place them. The stats of this thing are absolutely nuts. The mana regen doesn't really help so much when you're doing Blaze Slayer, because to be honest, you don't really use any mana whatsoever during this Slayer. Frost is also useless. Attack speed is useless considering I'm using Chimera G-Drag, so have 100 either way. But the 30% incoming healing and the extra 2 defense, surely they go hard, bro. I mean, oh, I saw myself drop to half, and I was about to say, I mean, I just dropped to half, and then it just killed me while it was splitting. How much true defense am I actually at right now? I need to see. 71? Wait, 96. So if we had another 5% from Blaze 8, and I'd only have like just over 100. Huh? How is that enough to do this without using a Sorrow chestplate? Don't think you'll hit Blaze 8 with those skills? Okay, buddy. All right, well, we've made it to the 2nd Demons phase. We're on the last phase, boys. And to be honest, the healing kind of go hard, you know. I was just skill issuing. That was actually like pretty easy. All right. I like this. I mean, my armor's only burning tier so far, but that means I can finally start actually upgrading all 3 pieces. Once I have it all like fiery or infernal, we're actually going to be seeing some big differences from using the flare. Ah, that's actually pretty pog. I mean, it's not bad. It's better than a plasma flux, except it doesn't give you base health regen. That's the only thing it's missing, but in every other way, it's better. And I like how it gives you combat stats, and it only costs 250 250 mana. But to be honest, you can get Plasma Flux for pretty cheap now that Breeze is a thing and Mana Disintegrator. So that kind of makes the SOS Flare feel a bit more underwhelming because I can already place my Plasma Flux for super cheap now. And the insane drop rates of the Inferno Apex kind of make it feel a bit, if that makes sense. Like, the drop rates are stupid. I can't believe the update's been out for like a month already, and there's only like 2 or 3 of these on the entire server. So I think Apex drop rates should just be adjusted, or this should get changed if they want to keep it as exclusive as it is. To be honest, the sad thing is, as expensive and as exclusive as the SOS Flare is, I think the item you're actually better off making this update is the ham radio, because this thing only costs 24 vertexes, which by contrast to this is like nothing, okay? But it gives you 40 true defense, 60 defense, plus 2% incoming healing, and plus 1% combat XP. This thing is cracked. Honestly, I think that's kind of more worth having than the SOS Flare in some ways, because obviously the main benefit we're getting is that we can now do bosses without using sorrow pieces, but this gives 4 times as much true defense and more combat XP and 2% incoming healing as well. I think this item's actually pretty cracked. I definitely think that is the most slept on item of the update for sure. The only sad thing is obviously you need 2 people with it for it to work, so it's not like I can just go ahead and make it because like nobody else has one. So I'd just be listening to a radio all by myself and I'd get no perks because you need somebody else to be listening to the same radio station as you for you to both get the effects. You can't use it as a solo item, which I guess is the big caveat for how good it is. I think I kind of have to adjust my strat with this Slayer though for this to work, because you see how fast the Wand of Atonement heals me. Oh my god. Yeah, I think I just need to be on the Wand of Atonement more and we will be chilling, because really I normally only use it after I use the Scylla, but if I use it between each attunement swap of the boss, I feel like that's actually pretty clean. I also need to use it there apparently. Oh my days, this boss hurts when you don't have a Sorrow chestplate on. That thing is way too good. All right, let's try this again. Oh, I'm hitting it with the wrong dagger. 2 in a row, and we slightly skill issued that boss, so hey, we're getting there, boys. 3 in a row, lads. And we got the Dayak swap down. Yeah, that's actually really easy if you just keep on top of the Wand of Atonement. I mean, 170 health per second increased by 30% as well. I mean, I'm excited to use this thing in other places too. Obviously, it'd be really nice in Kudra. Potentially in dungeon boss fights, right? I mean, it's something. You may as well if it's only 250 mana. Where else? Void Glooms with the new Mage strat. Obviously, you spend so much mana that it's not really worth placing a Plasma Flux, because otherwise you start the fight with nothing. But if it only costs 250, dude, screw it. With that kind of mana regen, you get that 250 mana back instantly. Let's go, dude. We got it down. I also love how it lasts for 3 minutes. You just don't have to think about it at all. It is just there the entire time. What? What is this BS? Oh my god, that was stress. Nope, don't like that whatsoever. I honestly deserve Wilson's engineering plans off of this boss just as compensation. If not, you'll be hearing from my legal team.
Break from the
Dude, I'm not gonna lie. I don't think this is worth the price. I think it's cool, don't get me wrong, but it is absolutely not worth the price. Apexes should start to be a little bit more common now. Well, technically 4.2 times as common now that the Netherwart distillate thing has been discovered. So hopefully Apexes slowly start to circle around in the server. But even so, there's only been like 3 or 4 discovered, and 4 times that after a month of the update being out is not a whole lot. But see, I have faith because Vertex production is going to ramp up. My minions are starting to produce them like crazy now, which is nice, which means we'll be able to start making the higher tier minions. And obviously the tier 10 minion makes it so that if you produce an Apex, you get 2. So eventually it will stabilize. I can see the vision. It's just for the time being, holy crap, it is suffering. Get out of the fire pits and walk back into them. I'm such an ape. Do you think the lower tiers of the SOS Flare are worth it? That's a good question. I think the Warning Flare is kind of a waste of time, honestly, but it's so cheap that if you literally have nothing else, then maybe use it. The Alert Flare, I would say use if you don't have an Overflux, but I really don't see somebody having an Alert Flare but not having an Overflux. So yeah, maybe in due course, once Vertexes aren't like crazy expensive, it could be worth it, but that won't be for a while. I like the SOS Flare. I think it's a sick item. item. I love the design of it. I love the way it works. I love that it lasts for 3 minutes and only costs 250 mana. I like can't complain about any of that. The one thing I can complain about is that not only do you need an RNG from the Slayer, but you also need a ridiculously rare RNG, 1 in 1.7 mil from the minions. And the problem is, right, why is the drop from the Slayer so much more common than the drop from the minions? It kind of makes it feel like doing the Slayer is kind of obsolete, really, because it's gonna be like the situation with scrolls and Hyperion, scrolls and Necron handles, right, where scrolls just end up being worthless because there's so many of them and not enough handles to use them on. That's the problem. But then do you make the drop rarer from the Slayer and make the Slayer even less profitable? I don't know. I just don't think Apexes should be that rare. That, I think, is absolutely the best way to balance this item, because it's cool. It's cool, but definitely not worth 1 in 1.7 million, bro. I know the benefit is that when you use the higher tier minions, you get 2 for the price of 1 if you manage to drop an Apex, but that's if you drop a damn Apex, and those minions are so expensive, man. Something needs to change with those minions. I hope they get some kind of balance patch at some point, because I think now, like, the update's been out for over a month and minis had loads of time to kind of see how they were, and the fact that there's only been 3 or 4 Apexes in that entire time is kind of unacceptable in my opinion, especially considering how many engineering plans have been dropped. That's why I bought the first ever ones, because I figured, oh, I'm making this sick minion setup, I'll have an Apex within a couple weeks. I'd rather have the plans ready. And then the price proceeded to drop by over 1.4 billion coins as people just started dropping them like crazy and there were no Apexes in sight. Oh, the damage is actually kind of nice. You see that? I was getting 2 mil a hit. Dude, I need to actually start buying some Crimson Essence, you know. I bought so many double chests full today. And I managed to get all my armor up to burning. And I got the pants and boots 5-star burning. Oh, I forgot I can't just do that in the middle of the boss anymore. But yeah, I really want to get it up to fiery tier, man. The amount of damage that does is mad. Right after Taylor messages me that... What the heck? Thank you, Elucid. This guy's saying he has 1.5 billion for me. I think that's cap. Wait, what? My guy's crazy on the pet skins. Wait, huh? I'm so confused. Yo, thank you, Minecraft Gamer. Ooh, Scorch Bucks. Let's go, dude. What are these things down to now? Oh, stabilized at like 4.3. It could be worse. I wonder what edition this actually is. It's a shame you can't museum it. I want to say it's the second one because Simple is the only person I know that has one and he loaned his to 15H. But I know there's been like 3 or 4 Apexes out there. But the thing is, you can't just consider that because obviously the craft requires 32 vertexes as well, which is an absurd amount of money. So maybe not everybody with Apexes has enough vertexes to craft it and is maybe trying to grind them out from their own minions. So I want to say safely that this is the 3rd SOS flare, but I believe it could be the 2nd. We'll find out when you can put it in the museum. I don't know why you can't just put it in the special section. 2 Apexes got wasted on a wisp. That is a crime. What I like about this now is that I can one-phase those without the Ragnarok axe. That honestly makes me super happy. It actually feels like a nice damage spike not using a Sorrow chest plate. All right, I think this is gonna be my last boss of the stream, but honestly, I'm excited to start doing like Void Glooms with this as well, with the new mage strats on that, because it is fun, but I do run out of mana quite a bit, and being able to get the same mana regen as a Plasma Flux, but for only 250 mana cost is kind of busted. I'm very all over the place with this item, but overall, I would say it's a W. I don't think it's a 6 billion coin W, but it's a dub none that... Never mind, it sucks. Thank you all so very much for watching. If you enjoyed, please be sure to leave a like and consider subscribing. And I will see you all soon, where hopefully I'm skill issuing much less. Peace!